Greetings to one and all. I am S. Manisha from School of Law Christ, deemed to be University, Bangalore. Firstly, I want to express gratitude to all to give me this opportunity to present my research and pray for safety and good health to everyone during these troubled times. The title of my research paper is Interpreting Aristotle's Rhetoric in Indian Capital Punishment. Articulation of judgments is the foremost form of communication in judiciary. Rhetoric has been one of the devices of such communication. It plays an important role in gaining, sustaining, and strengthening the adherence of audience towards the perspective which is being communicated through the judgment. As theorized by Aristotle in his treatise Rhetorica, rhetoric is an art of persuasion through enthymemes. Enthymeme is presenting a logical argument which is based on a reason which is implied by the user and not on the factual matrix of the circumstances. Thus, the discretion present in the same has possibility of being prejudiced. They are fundamentally driven by a societal conditioning and thus de facto are opposed to change. Hence, its fallibility is to be acknowledged here. This can be observed in the reasons given by the judges while passing capital sentences, which is mandated under Section 361 of Criminal Procedure Code 1973. Now, inconsistencies and non-uniformity are one of the part of reasons for non-sustainability of capital punishment in contemporary world. Another part is the very purpose for which capital punishment was brought about was a deterrence of crime, which has been falsified by reports both at domestic and international level. Domestic being by Project 39B by National Law University Delhi and numerous United Nations reports, some of them being authored by Roger Hood. Today, capital punishment is being utilized solely as a means to an end, but here it fails to consider the right of convict's life to not be treated as a means to achieve deterrence in the society. Our justice system should be reformative instead of retributive in nature. Thus, with respect to rhetoric, one of its foremost criticizers was the philosopher Hobbes, who stated in his De Cive, which was published in 1642, that the usage of rhetoric is to achieve assent from the audience rather than portray truth to them for achieving such assent. We can see from the reading of numerous capital sentencing judgments that they lack uniformity and comprehensive approach. The usage of rhetoric in the judgments portray a convict in the light where questioning the judgment becomes nearly impossible. But this is where the rhetoric and thus the audience is persuaded and misguided by the literature and the text of the judgment. It can be exemplified through the following. Same facts, if stated with and without communicative devices such as rhetoric, leads to different responses by the audience. This is dissuasion from the truth at its fundamental form. For the purpose of presentation, I'll be focusing on 3 judgments from Karnataka High Courts. All 3 of them have commonality that while sentencing, it was adjudged that the convicts were beyond reform, thus reducing their status from citizens and humans to something inhuman and beyond compare and reform. This form of sentencing, as stated by South Korean Supreme Court Justice Kim Jung-woo, is that state is turning its blind eyes to its citizens who are in need of the help from the state. Contemporary criminal justice system does not function in vacuum from societal influences, thus prejudicing the opinions of parties involved, and this inherently is the flaw of the system of capital punishment. It is fatal, final, and not without its moral implications. As stated by Law Commission of India in its 262nd report published in 2015, that it is time to abolish the practice of death penalty, and in law as well as in practice, like 142 other countries in the world have done. One recommendation would be the utilization of argumentative theory of reasoning, which has levels of evaluation becoming into dual level, double evaluation. Thus, comprehensive and holistic evaluation becomes possible in this argumentative theory of reasoning. We can avoid discriminatory and prejudiced information on which the judgments are passed. To explain the practicality of using ATR in language of judgments will lead to two major advantages. Namely, if holistic evaluation was done while sentencing, then it would be in the interest of enlarging constitutional protection by a maturing society. By addressing all circumstances while passing sentences, it will lead to making better decisions, recognition of errors while passing such decisions, and difference in perspective, and thus leading to passing of sustainable sentences which are supportive to reformative form of criminal justice system rather than retributive in nature. This will fundamentally allow the capital punishment to be abolished in practice till the law has been abrogated by the legislation. Ultimately, we have to ask ourselves, do we need death penalty or do we want it in our society? Thank you and have a nice day.